Welcome back. In this session, we are going to deploy React application using Azure Pipeline. So as I have mentioned in the previous session, so in this session we will deploy a real-time React application and we will go with different stages. So to understand, so as I said, we are going to deploy a React application on the Ubuntu virtual machine that is in the Azure which already had Nginx. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to go through all these stages. So first stage is to install dependencies and build it. Then another is running the unit test. Then this is deploying it. So we have all these four stages: installing the dependencies, then build the application, then run the unit test, and then deploy the application if test passed. What is the prerequisite? So exactly same as we had in the previous lab. So you should have Azure virtual machine with running Ubuntu, and Nginx need to be installed, port 80 need to be open, and of course Azure DevOps and SSH connection to the VM, and username password you should have, and you already have created the connection from your Azure DevOps to your VM. So exactly same what we did. So we have everything set up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy this React application on our previous VM, right? So if you remember, this was my application, right? So on this application, now we are going to override our new React application. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and follow all the steps. So all the steps going to be same, except I have improved version of this pipeline. Okay, Azure DevOps code, Azure Pipeline.yml code, and that's all. So let's go ahead and follow this step by step. First thing is we need to fork this application. So instead of forking, I'm going to import it. So let me copy this, go to our Azure DevOps. Here now we will go in our mini finance. So this is what I have created last time, right? If you go here, you see we have one pipeline, that what we deployed last time. We have one application here, this HTML deploy, right? Let's go ahead, import a new repository. So import here, I will give this name, and let me remove this gate and import this. This is going to take some time, and let me quickly. Okay, so once we did that, then that's fine. Other way, you can clone this application, then on your local system, then create the empty repository in your Azure DevOps, then you can commit the code. Okay, so if you want to do that, you also do that, but I just took the simple steps of importing it. Next, what we need to do, we are going to create this Azure pipeline, right? And again, I have explained here, okay, what is the build stage, what is the test stage, and what is the deploy stage, right? So in build stage, we are going to install dependencies, okay, then build the application. Then in test stage, we are going to run the automated unit test. Then in the deploy stage, we are going to copy build of our application and on the VM. Okay, I will show you what is built and how this looks like. So let's check, it must be done, right? Now this is done and perfect. Now let's go to the next steps. So now here we can go ahead and okay, let's do copy this and create a file. We can add file here. So let's go here, add new file here, Azure Pipeline.yml, create this, and here let's paste this code, and I'm going to explain you this line by line, and let me commit this. Okay, now what we are doing, so we have the trigger on the main, we already know. Now we have this pool VM Ubuntu, right? So this is the Microsoft managed agent, but this need to be changed because still my request is not approved. So I'm going to use my hosted agent. So let me change this, and now save this. Then here we have the three variables. Okay, one is the SSH service. So this is SSH2 Nginx VM that we have already created last time, right? I'm going to use same. Next, I have added one new variable called artifact name. So when we are building the artifact, so this artifact need to have some name. Okay, so I've given this name. Then we have again web root, so as it is. So we're going to copy our application built on via www.html. Then we are going to build the application. So as this is Node.js application, so we need to build it. Okay, because sorry, this is React.js application. So React.js application need to build it, because without building is not going to work. While I will show you. Okay, so now here we are doing the checkout of the code. Then it's going to install the node because node is needed. Then using npm, this is going to install all dependencies. Then this is building the application, and once this building the application, then application built, this is publishing as an artifact. Now let's understand this here. So when this build is going to build, then when React application build the application, so it's create a special folder that's called build. Okay, in this build is keep all the build of the application. Okay, so we are saying where is our build of application. So this is here in this folder. Okay, what is artifact name? We are giving this artifact name. Then we are publishing this is publishing to the artifact. Okay, I will show you where it will be. Next we have the test stage, and here we are going to run the test. Okay, so again in this stage we need to install the node.js, then we need to install all dependencies, then running this code npm run test, and we are running the test. Okay, then it's going to publish all the test, and if this will pass, you see this is a succeeded, right? If this is succeeded, then this is coming to the next stage. Okay, so next stage is deploying our application. So now if you see here, as we already built the here, we already published our artifact, right? So now what we are doing, we are downloading our artifact here. So download the artifact from where? So we have the multiple build, right? So we are saying current build, and this is the artifact name, and where this is at the pipeline workspace. So let us build from pipeline workspace. So download it. So artifact what we have built, this artifact, this is going to download here, and then this is going to copy this to where? To our web root, right? What is web root? Via www.html, right? So now this is copying there. Then is also going to change the Nginx configuration, and this you already know, right? So this we need to do, and then is going to restart the Nginx, and that's all. Perfect. So now we have done this, and let's go to the next step, and after that we need to go and create the pipeline, and that's all. So let's go to Azure DevOps, and in pipeline here we are going to create new pipeline. So create new pipeline, then our application is in Azure Repo. Select this, and this is our application, right? My React. Select this, and as it already had Azure Pipelines.YAML, so this is imported here. Okay, this is imported here. Now we can go ahead and run the pipeline, and now this is going to deploy the application. Now you see here we have all these stages, right? You have the build stage, run stage, then deploy stage. And let me show you one important things here. So let's go to our virtual machine. Now you know this is our Nginx VM, right? And technically this is going to push our artifact here. Okay, now currently you see we have index.html. If you list this index.html, then this is the index file. This is what we see here, right? This is what we see here, correct? Now once this will get built complete, then this is going to replace this content, right? Here we will see more content. Now what content will come, that's something we'll see, but let me show you one important things here. Let's go ahead and see our application. This is our application, right? Here you see we have the package.json, log, readme, ignore. If you go in the src, and here you see we have all these codes for the application, right? Index.js, index.css, app.test.js, app.js, and app.css. We don't have the index file here, right? If you go in the test, we have app test file. Okay, so this is for the test case. Now if you see here, we don't have the index.html. What going to happen when this application going to be built? Then this going to generate index.html and also some additional files. Okay, and all those files is going to copy here. Okay, this is something we will see. Okay, perfect. Now let's go back here. As I said, I have also created one small test. So if you see here in the test, I have this app test.js, and here I have two test case. Okay, so again we are going to run this test case. How? So if you go here we have npm run test, where from the test folder, okay, is going to watch when it's going to run it. Okay, so it's going to run the all the test what we have in our test folder. Okay, so here you see we have one file. Okay, this got deployed. Super. So now let's go ahead and refresh the application. Okay, before that let me show you. Here you see we have one test file, right? App test.js. If you go and refresh the application, this is going to be changed. Now you see this is React application, and welcome to my React application. This app is running on Nginx, right? Perfect. So this is what we supposed to see, right? And now let's go ahead little bit see all the stages. So it is the build stage we see, right? It's built our application, then test stage. Here we see our run test, right? If you go here, we see it's run the test, right? So we had one test and this test got passed. No, basically we had the two tests. Okay, so both tests got passed. Okay, so we see all this detail over here, right? Then finally this deployed our artifact. Now one important thing I would like to show here. So when it's build the application, okay, build the application, if we can see here, let me see. Okay, now we can see here. So this is built our application. Okay, yes, this should be command. Okay, npm build. So this command what we run to build, and in this directory it's run this, and it's saying it was built was successful, right? And then it was successful. Then if you see here, this created new file folder called build, right? That what I was showing you, right? So it's created new folder called build, and where we had created all these files. Okay, there's more files. I'm not sure why this is not showing. Okay, and now let's go here, publish the artifact. You see what this is doing. This is published. Okay, this built folder content. Okay, so this folder content, this is published where? In the artifactory with the name of React build, right? And if you remember, this was the name, right? If you go here, this was the name React build, right? So this is published there, and test got passed. If you go here again, this is downloaded, right? What this is downloaded? This is downloaded our this built React, right? And all the file what it has is downloaded everything here. Now same it's copied. Okay, same file this is copied, and also it's restarted everything. So what I was trying to show you, okay, how this React application get built. So as a DevOps engineer, right, you need to understand the application. If this is a React application, Node application, Java application, right? So those applications need to be built. Again, you can ask with the development team, hey, do you have any test case? And yes, then tell me where this test case is there and how to run this test case, right? So all those commands, everything will be given by your developer. Then your responsibility as a DevOps engineer, go ahead and create this Azure Pipeline YAML file. Now you may think, how do I created all this, right? How do I know I need to run this command, this command? Is very simple. So to build the application, okay, what command I need to run? This is something you should not be knowing by default. Okay, this is something you can ask with the developer. What application, what software need to be installed? This is something you can ask with the developer. Now if you go to this application, you go to this application, and this application has the readme, right? If you read it, everything is explained here, everything explained here. So what I did, I gone through it, and based on all this documentation, I have created my Azure pipeline.yml file. So as a DevOps engineer, you need to look into the application installation script, okay, application installation documentation. If something is not clear, go ahead, ask with the developer, hey, why you are running this command? Why does it need it? They will explain you because they own the application. Once you understand, once you know, then come ahead, create your Azure pipeline.yml file. This is what is your job. Perfect. Now let me show you one more thing. Let's go to our machine here. Okay. Now let's do ls. Okay. Now we see we have the more files here, right? More files. And now this is index.html. Let's do the ls. ls index.html. Now you see this is completely a different file, right? And we don't have any index.html inside our application. We don't have anywhere, right? So what I'm trying to tell you, this application got built, right? So now this is built, and this built we have deployed. Okay, so this is something you need to understand. Perfect. So everything is fine. Now let's go back. Okay, and here you can, okay, let's me pipeline. This is our pipeline, and open this pipeline, and here we will see our, okay, this is a test coverage. Let's open the everything. Okay, let's go back. In the test coverage, we will see the test coverage, the test what passed. Okay, no, I think we haven't published this test result here. So what we can do, we can publish the test result, okay, in our Azure pipeline. So once we publish this, we can see the all test result over here. Maybe I can create another session and I will show you. Okay, so all those details will be here. Well, perfect. Test and test coverage. For that we need to configure this test plan. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. Perfect. So this is all, and just I'm thinking what I can explain. Okay, now here we see the artifact. Okay, so this is our artifact. Now you see, so this is artifact, and this artifact has all this file. Okay, all this file. Okay, so this got built and it got uploaded. Similar, the test what passed here, let me show you that this test result we can also publish, push back to our pipeline, and here we can see very nice graphs and all. Okay, maybe I can do it later. Well, so okay, now application is working. We publish the application. What else? That's pretty much. If you want to do some additional testing, right? So let's say if you go here and do some changes, then this automatically should trigger the pipeline, right? So let's go here, maybe index.js, and no, let's not go here. Okay, go back files, and maybe let's go ahead, and do some changes here. Okay, edit this. Okay, and let's go here, just add one line, just bracket. Okay, save this, commit this, and this is automatically going to trigger our pipeline. You have already seen earlier, but just I'm showing you. You see pipeline got triggered. Okay, so new changes will be published. Okay, perfect. So I think that's pretty much I wanted to cover and wanted to show you a couple of important points that you should be knowing as a DevOps engineer. Like when we deal with the real-time application, so application need to be built, not just copying the file, right? And when it's get built, then it create the artifact. This is bottom line of the building the application, right? Then this artifact we can publish in the artifactory. So currently we are storing in our itself in the Azure DevOps, but this could be maybe AWS S3, maybe Azure, or you can use any other artifactory as well. Okay, then we have the test coverage we have seen, but yeah, I think I missed one important point. So the test coverage we can also published in our Azure DevOps, so we can see all those details. Then we have deployed the application. Well, so that's pretty much. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to give you new assignments to deploy our Epic Book application. And then I'm going to do the new hands-on where we are going to deploy our 3-tier application architecture with complete automation. So I'm going to create 2 pipelines, one pipeline for the infrastructure and another pipeline for the application deployment, and then those applications will be on my local systems, and that's going to be very interesting. Well, thank you so much. Please go ahead and complete next assignment, and then see you in the next session. Thank you.